Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and we're talking about the latest episode of Rap Stuff. You know what the real title is. I don't know what it is about the cursing still, but we're on this episode, and definitely a lot went down, so let's get right into it. I really enjoyed how the episode starts off with Reina, and she's replying to the disses. Once again, I guess that's how it goes in today's society or rap world. It's like, they just diss you on stage, and instead of coming back with like a diss record, you go on Instagram or whatever social platform and you just talk trash about whoever just dissed you. I don't like that. I really appreciate I know I sound like an old grumpy person. I really appreciate when back in my day is if you got dissed on wax, well, sometimes they saw you in person, but normally, if you got dissed on wax, they would just come back with a diss record and have to respond. It was always a reply back to you with another diss record, but not in today. As we see, Reina goes right to what I guess Instagram Live or whatever it is, and she just insists on talking trash about Mia and Shawna by not even saying their name. But you know who they talking. We know who she's talking about. So I thought that was funny. The actress's name escapes me right now, but as much as annoying as she is, that actual actress is killing that culture vulture role. I must say, it is pretty hilarious to watch. Another thing I did like about it, we definitely see that Shawna and Mia, they actually go out for breakfast and they take a secret meeting with Francois. And this actually reminded me of the famous, for those who were around, once again, I might be a little too old, but for those who remember the huge incident where Dame Dash made a scene because I believe Leo Cohen wanted to meet with, or some Def Jam executives wanted to have a secret meeting with Jay-Z without Dame Dash as being present. And we can definitely see that with Francois. Francois is clearly trying to divide Shawna and Mia from Chastity. And it seems to be working. Francois talking about, I gotta, first he puts on the victim role. Have I not been nice to you guys, this and the third? And clearly they've been treated like second-class citizens, from the bummy motels to, having to look like the help when it comes to Reina on stage. It's just a lot that's been disrespectful to our girls here. But anyway, so he tried to play the victim role, and then after they try to, I guess, have a little guilt trip, he definitely brings some good news. Hey, we're gonna go to this Billboard meeting, which we definitely see later on the episode, or a Billboard party. And then he also says, and I gotta get you a writing session with Party, Partisan Fontaine, who is a pretty nice ghostwriter, helps write songs, mainly for Cardi B and so forth. And of course, you see he's been in some drama with Meg Thee Stallion. But I digress. So of course, they agreed all that, with the only exception that they have to apologize to Shawna. Have to apologize to Reina, which I thought was extremely awkward. And and that's one thing I like about comedy. I really enjoy the shows that can just create some awkward moments. And that apology was the awkward of the most awkward, I tell you. So we definitely get that. One thing I definitely did appreciate as well. This episode was probably, out of the 5 that are out so far, this probably was the best one to me, or my favorite. Once again, Mia is probably one of my favorite characters of the show, and she definitely is doing her rendition of How to Be a Player. If you're too young for that movie, I highly suggest you go check it out. She has 2 love interests at the same party. She's clearly not acting fully like herself. She's cuddling up with Courtney, for example, but still kind of looking around for a cash chaser. And does the same thing, vice versa. And of course, we definitely see that eventually that blows up in her face. And yeah, she's and you can't get mad at her. Like, I understand double standards do exist, but I think this is just a great way of showing that, hey man, just like that song says, hey, girls is players too. And she clearly is juggling a few prospects. Not sure how that's going to happen now after she got busted right before the unfortunate tragedy that happened. And And I do apologize. Normally I do give a disclaimer. I do tend to hop around for those who don't know. But yeah, so she gets caught at the very end and is kind of awkwardly saved from Laura AK being burned. I do really feel like that was a form of like maybe an attempt of self-termination. Once again, I'm not sure what you can and can't see on YouTube without it being flagged. But yeah, Laura AK, I definitely think that was done on purpose. You know, and once that episode ended, it kind of made sense with some of the stuff he was saying. Some of his comments definitely sounded like he was somewhat sick of the industry, despite what, from the outside looking in, what seems to be him having a lot of money, fame, access to women, some of the best parties. It still may never fully heal when may be broken on the inside. So clearly something he may have been fighting with. And that was kind of clear. And I think there was something, and I think if you look at the trailer, they might delve into it a little bit, but it seemed like there was some type of, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of all this look that he gave to Shawna right before his impromptu performance that Gat tried to put him on the spot for, you know. So I'm definitely interested to see how that goes, you know, in terms of, will they dive into what was the intentions behind that? You know, and does he survive? It doesn't seem like he survived, but we'll see. Oh yeah, and I really my second favorite character, Chastity. I really did. I did appreciate how she was trying to be on her grind. She was trying to be on her, you know, social butterfly stuff. I thought it was very smart that she's Googling familiar faces and stuff like that, and then trying to at least spark up some type of conversation. She kind of got caught at the end with it, but she's fighting, man. Chastity is fighting. It's definitely an uphill battle with Francois throwing all types of, you know, bells and whistles at Shawna and Mia now. You know, one being the Billboard party that they all went to. But that's another thing I hope they touch on in episode 6, which from the previews of episode 6, it doesn't seem like it. But whoever that woman is that Chastity is talking to, you know, it seems like she might have sparked a connection, and then we don't see where that conversation goes after that. I want to see where that goes. I really feel like whoever this woman is could possibly change the trajectory when it comes to Chastity and her manager struggles. I'll just leave it at that, you know. So I'm hoping that's the case. So yeah, man. Overall, man, this episode was very dope. So many unanswered questions after this episode. You know, once again, the apology went horribly wrong. They did one of those apology, not apologies. Like, you know, when it comes to Reina, I mean, you know, they're like, hey, I'm sorry you felt away. You know, I'm not going to say I'm sorry for my actions. I'm sorry that you felt away about what we said. You know, kind of dancing around it, which I ain't mad at it. You know, I could see how that could be annoying if you have to be on tour with Reina. You know, once again, Reina's throwing shade herself. If you remember the previous episode, she's not even mentioning Shawna or Mia or giving them a shout out whenever she has a spotlight or has an opportunity to highlight other people on her own damn tour. So I get it. You know, I'm glad they didn't fully apologize, especially once Mia left. Shawna and Reina really do get into it. So, you know, when you look at it, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're kicked off tour because of how that went, you know. And finally, I will leave it with this. We definitely do see some shady business going on with Maurice. You know, Shawna calls Maurice talking about how she misses him, this and the third. Maurice is being very cold, all this stuff, and is secretly recording conversations trying to get her caught up because apparently lines are clearly been drawn. Maurice has clearly, you know, chose his shady cousin over Shawna. And I get it. I guess, you know, family before women, I suppose. But it seems like the cousin is the one that's really the shadiest in the first place. You know, it seems like the cousin wouldn't mind throwing Maurice under the bus before him. So, I don't know. That's just nasty work, man. He's trying to get Shawna caught up. Shawna, I'm glad she didn't say anything incriminating Matter of fact, if anything, it was more incriminating to Maurice than anything. Like, she's like, hey, you needed money more than me, this and the third. So, that's ugly. This whole thing is, I'm on the edge of my seat with it. I can't wait to see how the next few episodes go. And let me know what you think. If you agreed or disagreed with anything, do you have any predictions? And I'll leave you with this. I do feel like, hopefully, whoever Chastity was talking to during her smoke break, I really feel like that person is going to come through for Chastity, Shawna, and Mia in some form, way, shape, or form. You know, I do feel like that's going to happen. I really don't like Francois. Francois is clearly one of the antagonists to me in the show. I really didn't like how that on-the-spot meeting went, and how even then he is trying to push Chastity out by all means possible. I'm talking about when some record label person came and was talking to Francois and had like an impromptu meeting right there on the spot at the Billboard party with Shawna and Mia. Anyway, I'm going on a rant. That's my opinion of this episode. Hate it or love it. That's my review. Peace.